What's good, everybody? It's your boy DK Bones here with another movie review. This movie is The Devil's Own, which came out in 1997, an American action thriller directed by Alan J. Palonka, starring Harrison Ford and Brad Pitt with Margaret Cologne. She played in Independence Day, if you don't recall, Ruben Blades. He's an actor that played in Predator 2, Treat Williams, and George Hearn in supporting roles. The plot revolves about Frank McGuire, which is played by Brad Pitt, a soldier in the Protestant Irish Republican Army who comes to the United States to obtain black market anti-aircraft missiles, but his plan is to complicated by Irish American police officer Tom O'Mara, which is played by Harrison Ford, whom the IRA member has come to regard as family. The film was released in the United States on March 26, 1997 by Columbia Pictures, receiving mixed reviews from critics. It was a box office disappointment. I think the budget was 86 million, and it box office was 140 million worldwide. So in today's standards, it was a bust because it didn't make the bank. The final film of the director Pulaka, who died in the year after its release, and the final film photographed by Gordon Willis, who retired soon after. Um, I'm going to give you a brief plot, but I'm going to give you a little background on Irish and British if you don't know. Um, most of Ireland was Northern Ireland was occupied by British rule, and there was a lot of dispute with the Irish people, um, which was a lot of terrorism. They call them terrorists. In the eyes of the British, in Ireland, they were freedom fighters. Um, but that's that. In 1972, Northern Ireland. This is the plot. In 1972, Northern Ireland, 80-year-old Frankie McGuire, 8-year-old Frankie McGuire, witnessed the assassin, the gunning down of his father um, for portraying Republican sympathies. 20 years later in Belfast, Frankie and three following IRA members, Frankie is played by Brad Pitt, members are ambushed by British Army and Special Reconnaissance Units agents. Two of the IRA gunmen are killed, but Frankie and his comrade Sean Philipland escape, managing to kill three soldiers and a civilian and four rival loyalists. Um, Pursued by British Army helicopter, Frankie's commander, Marty Macduff, decides that the RA needs a Stinger missile to fight back. Under the alias of Rui Devaney, Frankie arrives in New York City to buy missiles. American Judge Peter Fitzsimmons, a longtime IRA supporter, arranged for him to stay with the Irish American NYPD officer Sergeant Tom O'Mara, which is played by Harrison Ford, and his wife Sheila and their three daughters on Staten Island. Believing that Rory is an immigrant construction worker, Tom and his family welcome Frankie into their home. Um, Sean reunites with Frankie, acquiring an old fishing boat to smuggle missiles. Frankie cuts a deal with the black market arms dealer, Irish mobster Billy Burt, to receive the missiles in several weeks. Fitzsimmons has the money for the delivery. I'm just giving you the whole rundown of the movie because just an older movie, and I want you to go check it out. I think it's a really good movie. Delivered to Frankie by Megan Doherty, another IRA operative posing as his family's nanny, and Frankie hides a duffel bag of cash in O'Mara's basement. Megan later warns Frankie that Macduff has been killed by British authorities, and they must postpone the deal, much to Burke's display. After lying to protect his partner, Eddie Diaz, for fatally shooting an unarmed thief in the back, and a guilt-stricken Tom decides to retire from the force. He comes clean to Sheila and then return home, only to be confronted by masked intruders. Frankie arrives. He and Tom fight off intruders as Sheila calls the police, but they are held at gunpoint until the sirens approach and assailants flee. Frankie confronts Burke for sending men to steal money, shooting one of them other attackers in the knee, but Burke reveals that he's holding Sean hostage and demands payment for the missiles. Realizing the intruders were searching for Frankie in the basement, Tom discovers the duffel bag of cash. Confronted by Tom, Frankie reveals his true identity, but Tom has called Eddie and they are arrested. Stuck in traffic en route to the police station, Frankie overpowers Tom, takes his gun, mortally wounding Eddie with when he draws his own gun, but is forced to flee without the money. What Eddie did, Tom is questioned by the FBI and the British counterparts, realizing that they intend to kill Frankie, who meets Burke on an abandoned warehouse demanding the money. Burke presents Frankie with the missiles as well as Sean's severed head, and Frankie hands over a duffel bag with a bomb, resulting in an explosion, allowing Frankie to kill Burke and his men and drives off with the missiles. Frankie goes to Megan at Fitzsimmons' residence, determining to complete his mission, deliver the missiles to Ireland. Downstairs, Tom interrupts a cocktail party and confronts the judge before recognizing Megan from the photo in Frankie's bag. But Frankie escapes. Tom convinces Megan that only he can save Frankie from being killed by the authorities, and she directs him to the boat. At the dock, Tom sneaks aboard as Frankie sets sails with the missiles, leading to a shootout. Tom is wounded and disarmed. Frankie prepares to kill him, but realizes he has been shot. Tom embraces a dying Frankie and recognizes that both of them are fighting for the cause they believe in before steering the boat back to shore. But I remember it way different than the way I explain it. It's a lot of who's right, who's wrong kind of a thing. They're all fighting for a certain cause. There are rumors that Brad Pitt and Harrison Ford had disputes on set because Brad Pitt was an up-and-coming actor and Harrison Ford was already a set actor and considered one of the greatest at the time. 1997, not only did he came out with this movie, I think 1997 Air Force One came out. But it's a decent movie. In today's standards, it's considered maybe a TV show series, but it's a good movie with the Irish background. It describes a lot of the stuff that was going on at the time between England, United States, and Ireland. But it's a great movie. You want to see sexy pics of Brad Pitt, Harrison Ford, if you're into Harrison Ford, but a good movie. This young lady, she also was in Ronin on one of my other earlier videos, but she always plays a good Irish villain in most of her movies. But I give this movie about a 6.57. It's a movie that you should check out. I liked it. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but if you have DVD, Blu-ray, go check this out. Anyways, if you like my content, hit that like button, comment, let me know how I'm doing. That's the only way I know if I'm doing good or bad. Hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys next time. Stay blessed.